Hello, welcome to Literacy with Miss P. Today we are making maps using our imaginations. Now, hopefully you've watched the introductory video and also the video where we've begun to explore maps in our own home, and hopefully you've now got lots and lots of brilliant ideas for your own map. So here's the really fun part. You need some paper, you need a pencil or a pen. I would usually use pencil, but today I'm going to use pen just so that you can see it better. And you might also want some colours as well to add some really nice detail to your map. So you might want to begin by thinking about the outline of your map. Now, I've decided that I'm going to draw an island. And you might want to think about the shape of your map. You might give it a particular shape that becomes really important within your story, but I'm quite happy with just keeping the shape like this for now. And what you want to do is just start creating these different areas or zones or settings, and I'm sure you've got some really brilliant ideas for your own settings using your imagination of the different places that there could be within your map. So I'm going to start off by drawing a forest. Okay, so I'm keeping the illustrations fairly simple, like they usually are on a map. It's not too much detail. We just want to really represent what the area is. But the great thing about creating our own maps is that they really help us to generate ideas, and we start thinking about what could possibly happen in the different places. Now, I like keys, and I was thinking that maybe there could be a key on my map hidden away in this forest, and that might become important to my story later. So you might like to think about different objects that could be incorporated into your map that your character might need along the way, or they might need to find. Okay, so there's a little forest with this sort of magic key inside, which could give me some ideas for my writing later on. Add a bit of colour there to make it pretty special. What else shall we draw? We're definitely going to need some water somewhere. So you might, I'm just going to do a few waves around to show that this is an island and all around it is water. And that alone could give you some ideas about how your character might arrive on this island. Are they washed up on a shipwreck? Is that how your story begins? Or have they travelled there specifically? Now, I quite liked the idea of having a swamp. Sounds like quite a disgusting place. So I'm just going to draw a swamp, and maybe there's kind of some fumes coming up from the swamp, maybe some bubbles bubbling away in the water. But not a particularly nice place to go. So I'll try and think of a name to go with that a bit later on. And I do like the idea of having some mountains, perhaps. Some mountain ranges that they might have to climb. What other ideas can you think of? There might be a little cabin in the mountain. you might have seen lots of paths and things dotted around as well. So I'm just going to add in a path to show perhaps the journey that my character might take. Now, maybe they've arrived on a boat, so I can add a boat here. But that's just something for you to think about. You might have some different ideas. Okay, so you see where I'm going with this. Spend some time creating your incredible imaginary places. Now, once you've designed your map and created lots of different places, you might like to start thinking of some names. Now, you can get some really, really good ideas from books that you might have at home. So I'm going to call this the Deep Forest. And I don't really need to label the key because I just want my reader to find that by themselves. Now, can we think of a good name for the swamp? What would be a good name for a swamp? Can you think of one? You might come up with your own ideas for your swamps. So this is going to be something swamp. I think I'm going to call it Gurgle Swamp because I like the sound of that word. Gurgle Swamp. This over here is going to be the Mountain Hut. And I might also think of a name for my mountains. And these mountains are going to be quite special, so I'm going to call them Magic Mountains. Okay, so spend some time really filling out your map with lots and lots of different ideas for your settings. So I'm going to stop the video here, but that doesn't mean you need to stop. You can carry on going until you have finished and you're really, really happy with your map. So happy map making!